Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our suffering of the day.
You wanted this shit, so you got it. Congratulations. You fuckers.
So, as usual, this is Rio Sakurai, the host of the show. We got Urban Ninja in the back. I don't have a nickname yet, so you just call me Jonathan.
Well, John for sure.
Yeah, I'm John for short. Who cares? So, today we are going to actually review History of Power Rangers, Megaforce. We probably only do 2 episodes, and then
bathe ourselves in the blood of Jesus Christ.
I was gonna say go get a heel meal, but all right.
I'm bathing in the blood of Jesus Christ.
I was gonna go with the heel meal, but all right. That's just bread, white bread and sugar.
Hold on, who eats that? What's wrong with you? What?
It's called the heel meal.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, now that they've established that, what is going on, you guys?
Oh, God.
First of all, I want to address this right now. Thank you for all the comments who have been concerned about us and our well-being as we were partaking in this level of torture.
We accept your prayers, and it gives us strength.
It does.
Oh, sorry.
Now, before we even start this, we were getting our food and was walking back talking about this. I'm always just trying to be optimistic. This time, I'm trying to be optimistic because even though everybody that's been commenting saying this is like the worst, especially him.
I watched it.
The worst ever, and he watched it.
The whole thing.
I'm gonna be sitting here thinking maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's not that terrible.
Joe, have your bar of expectation brought down. Do that now. Do that right now.
I was already low, so I'm not even. I'm just. Let's just
bring that high ass bar you got and bring it right now.
Look, listen. I'm just saying. I already know what. I know what my gripe is. I know what my gripes are with this. Because for one, before I even say anything, this is a series. Well, partially a series that's based off of a Sentai that's based on the idea of angels. That's what the Gosages were. I cannot pronounce that right for the life of me.
Gosei.
Yeah, the Gosages were. They
well,
were.
Actually, if you think about it, they did keep that name. The guy on the wall. They have a person. They have like this little rock face in the wall that like Zora.
Yeah, because that's the
Zora, and they call him Gosei. They call him Gosei Great.
Gosei. Oh boy, just the name.
Gosei for short.
Just the name.
They even have like a little what was it? Alpha 5. A little Alpha 5 rolling around on wheels.
You can't be serious.
You'll see. You think I'm joking? You'll see. They'll be rolling around in wheels. Be like, yeah.
I can't. All right.
I think this introduction's gone too far now. We thank you for your prayers. We will begin shortly.
Hold on, let me bless this damn mouse because I'm touching him.
Yeah, let's not throw the mouse. The mouse didn't do nothing to us.
Okay. At least not yet, anyway. Jesus.
Let's begin.
Welcome, my friends, to Power Rangers Megaforce.
That first part. Nah.
All that car.
2013 was not so long ago at the time of this video's creation, but we live in a world where media is consumed rapidly and discarded just as rapidly as new things come about. As such, it's easy to forget that 2013 was a milestone anniversary year for many pop culture franchises. Doctor Who celebrated its 50th anniversary. James Bond, the novels anyway, celebrated its 60th birthday. And of course, Power Rangers celebrated its 20th. These kind of pop culture milestones should not be shrugged off. Pop culture is often a glut of material. Memes, shows, movies, songs, celebrities, jokes, language, politics, news. A single year can alter the landscape of what people are talking about, what people are watching and listening to, what they'll feel nostalgic for. The idea that some product will be talked about not just for more than 1 year, but yes, 50 years after its initial creation is pretty damn impressive. And when you consider how most people view a product like Power Rangers, it's all the more astonishing that it has lasted for more than 20 years with new material. And all the more saddening when it seems like the people working on the products just don't seem to care. I tried to be fair to Samurai because they were fighting an uphill battle with it. Adapting a difficult series, new network, hadn't done anything like it in years, and from what I've heard, they had to put together an entire show in a very short amount of time. But now the kid gloves are off. They had 2 years to get their act together, 3 if you count the first half of this. And yet, in many ways, Power Rangers Megaforce is inferior to Samurai. I still say Overdrive is worse because it would often get purely unbearable to watch, but Megaforce's problem is that it's such a disappointment. The name of the game is lazy, except it's a bizarre form of laziness, where they will put effort into things, just the wrong things, not the things that are actually important to fix, or they'll fix something that wasn't broken. Megaforce is technically the 20th Power Rangers season. You may have noticed that I condensed Samurai and Super Samurai into one retrospective, although the series name seems to change and imply that it's different. However, there is so little story in the 2 seasons, so little that actually changes overall from one season to the next, that there's no reason to really separate them. At least with the 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin, they all had a different feel and enough running story to justify splitting them up. Yeah. And bear in mind, the main story of Season 1 in 60 episodes was Tommy coming in, losing his powers, and then gaining them once again. And that was a season that was so formulaic in its episodes that it's still mocked today. But as I said, Megaforce fails in even that, since it's hard to even say that the show is formulaic when it's all over the place. The tone doesn't know what it wants to be about. Actually, I take that back. The tone is action scenes. Cram as many action scenes as possible into the series. Burn through as much Sentai footage as we can. But yeah, another 2 seasons. Meaning that Super Megaforce, the season that actually does do the anniversary stuff, didn't even happen in time for the 20th anniversary and was instead pushed to the 21st year if you go by their numbering. Admittedly, part of this is Nickelodeon's fault with their arbitrary, every series must be around 20 or so episodes per season rule. But 20 episodes...
I'm sorry. Nickelodeon, why would y'all do that?
Because it's Nickelodeon, and they got SpongeBob and Premiere.
Pretty much. If I think about it,
excuse me?
If I think about it, that year, there was a SpongeBob and me.
I'm just saying, Nickelodeon, they only... Although Nickelodeon did ruin SpongeBob, they did. However, SpongeBob is probably one of the longest running.
Really.
Did you have to do that? Did you have to do that in the middle?
I'm sorry. Continue.
Nope.
But you're right. It's one of the most longest series ever.
And
it actually is kind of sad because the original creator of SpongeBob, literally said that he didn't really want all this to be going about after he made that.
Yeah.
And then we have Patrick. If you didn't know, Patrick has his own spinoff.
He's getting it.
Oh yeah, that might be fun.
Along with the childhood series that apparently is going to happen as well.
What childhood series?
When all the main characters go to camp.
And they're all going to be little children. And they're also getting another movie.
Oh
God! So it's a lot of SpongeBob content. It's a lot of content.
Anyway, back
to Power Rangers. That really. I'm telling you, these companies, they really just do not care. If you're trying to buy a brand, why are you constantly tarnishing it? Why tarnish it?
Because they don't care.
Instead of doing the opposite of making the whole concept is making money.
Yeah, but you do know that these people are like out of table looking at this like, all right, we need to cut this, we need to do that, we need to do this. We need to make the character more likable, more intuitive, more
Like us.
yes,
More
more
woke.
American.
More woke.
Yeah, pretty much.
That too. Well, maybe not woke, but more cringy and teenager-like.
Yeah.
Although you're 30-year-old men and women.
Well, they probably not even 30 yet.
Either way, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Probably after they finish this series, they're 30.
Well, for what I've been told, this right here is one of Linkara's biggest rants because he talks about how disappointed he was in this, which a lot of people have been addressing to us again. This is like one of the biggest rants that he's going to be talking about in this.
Well, we won't know if this is the biggest rant unless we continue.
So yeah, let's
Oh, boy.
continue.
Is roughly 7 hours of content. If movies can tell coherent, rich, interesting stories in 2 hours or less, you have no excuse why you can't do the same with over 3 times that length. Different mediums, yes, but even Power Rangers has been able to tell emotionally gripping stories in 20 minutes in the past. Hell, even other children's shows these days are capable of that in half an episode's time. 10 minutes to tell an emotionally engaging story while also containing action. But I suppose we should actually start talking about Megaforce.
And remind you that the good guys always win. Even in the 80s.
No, not that. People like that Megaforce. The series begins with
I don't
Mega
know what that
Mission.
was.
We open with the Legendary War. Oh, great, it's over already. I'm finally done with this series. No, of course not. It's a dream by this kid, Troy. After getting to class, we're introduced to the only teacher in the city of,
Hold up! Stop!
Wait, what?
Hold on! Just wait! Just wait! Wait!
What's it now, dude?
He has a dream about the Legendary War?
Yeah.
Wait.
That's how it starts. He has a dream about it, and then it's going to actually happen further into the series.
Oh, I was about to say.
So they had this plan from the beginning.
Pretty much. Because if you think about it, the Power Ranger War series didn't start until it was like close to the
Go Kygra.
Okay, yes, Go Kygra. Thank you.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god.
This is only gonna get better.
This is just the first part.
No, this is the first 4 minutes and 37 seconds.
Fuck me. You know, I'm so glad we didn't bet on this. I'm glad. I'm glad we didn't bet on this. I'm glad.
You would have just lost.
It was whoever, the bet was going to be whoever cringes the most. That means each cringe is a point. The highest point loses.
Well, he already got like 6 so far, so.
Fucking damn it. My head hurts now.
I only got 1.
Shit.
Dancing to be.
Down, Mr. Burley. Despite being a science teacher, he believes in cryptozoology. And that's the beginning and end of him. He's there for the occasional comic relief, but otherwise he is a completely superfluous character.
What species will outlast all others on Earth?
Is this gonna be on the test?
Insects. They'll survive all the bad stuff we're doing to the environment.
Well, if we're killing the environment, how are they supposed to survive the— Oh God, it's coming right for us!
Robots. Robots powered by perpetual motion engines.
Being that this is an anniversary season, they're trying to use this to subtly hint at the show's history, with this being their callback to RPM and how machines destroyed their world. Oh, dear Lord, I hate this season. Troy, who was apparently in a coma on that bus, arrives late but has his own answer.
Us humans. How's that, Troy? If humans work together, we can overcome anything.
A bit cheesy.
Oh my God! What?
In order.
What?
You remember when I warned you about Troy. I warned you about the Red Ranger already. So.
Hold on, no, wait a minute. You didn't warn us all the way.
No.
So let me
I
ask
hate
this.
this. Limits what it is. We can do it.
Man, fuck the limits. So let me get this straight. Just to make sure I got it in my head.
Humans band together.
Is Troy like? Are they trying to depict Troy to be like the chosen one or some shit?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm the chosen one. Worship me.
If all of us humans come together, shut the fuck up.
He's trying to be.
Shit.
What they make him look like is a character that is confident in himself and others, and pretty much he's nothing more than the chosen one, basically.
Can the shit. Just.
So kind of a Naruto Uzumaki, but it's more of a.
No, Naruto Uzumaki didn't realize he was the chosen one until later. But for Naruto, he was a knucklehead that messed up. He was a messed up knucklehead that messed up every way he goes until he grows up. This guy, he's Mr. Perfect.
No, not that.
Yeah, at the very beginning, he's like a Mr. Perfect.
Not that. Well, you didn't tell us about that.
Nigga, he's an optimistic person, so he's pretty much smiling every few minutes and saying catchphrases.
Catchphrases.
Catchphrase.
No.
If all of us humans, what kind of PBS
An
type
alien
shit?
spaceship arrives, bringing with it Admiral Malachor and his General Creepox. Insects. They declare that Earth will be
The
easy
aliens
pickings
are,
because humans
insects.
are so weak. Naturally, since this is an anniversary season, Malachor responds how humanity has beaten alien invasions numerous times now, and yeah, okay, you get it. They don't mention that, even though it would be so easy to do so. But whatever, let's talk about the theme song. It's
Please
yet
don't.
another remix of Go Go Power
That's
Rangers,
not
now adding in this bit of Megaforce. As I said last time, I'm a sucker for this theme song, so I really don't mind that they're using it yet again. Hell, it's probably good for brand consistency and keeping the little kids reassured that
No, Ricardo, no, it's not good. No, it's not good. No, it's not. And I don't give a shit. I'm putting this clip in there while I'm editing this shit. You want to know the reason why this is bad? Because we now have, like I said before in the last few videos, we are getting people, content creators, who are making their own theme songs of Power Rangers. Power Rangers.
Much better themes, mind you.
Much better themes, and it's not Go Go Power Rangers all the damn time.
Rangers fall across the land. It's our last stand. Save us all. It's in our hands. Power Rangers unworthy. Standing tall. We will not run. One for all. 'Cause we're not done. Break the wall. Wants to be one. Power Rangers unworthy. Go, go. My destiny. Go, go. The unworthy. Go, go. Power Rangers unworthy. Go. Power Rangers growing stronger, faster every day. Standing up to evil forces coming our way. Call on mighty animal strength, mammal and machine. Earth defenders protecting us from all of the unseen.
And I'm not gonna lie, in that first 4 seconds, that's fine. Megaforce, and that's fine. Continue with that. Don't make it to be Go Go Power Rangers all over again. That's fine. Had they just done it like that, that would have been just fine. But no, we get this.
Oh, and for the record, the cringe number is Joe 6, that fool 4.
That's not even more of a cringe. It's more of like a frustration because they know what they're doing.
Oh, no.
It ain't like they're not.
No. You didn't cringe for this one. You cringed for the other thing.
I did cringe for that.
Yeah,
I did.
the other things. Those were the 6.
His
His fourth one came with this one.
I've been cringing the whole time.
Come
Like,
on,
I don't-
man. Just come on. Like, it's not this. It is really not this difficult. It's really not.
You know, I hate to be a pessimist, but I feel like it's only gonna get worse from here.
It definitely damn sure is. So let's pull the Band-Aid. Come on. We can do it. We're not bitches.
This is Gorilla Glue.
We're not bitches. We can do this.
Power
This
Rangers.
is Gorilla
However, I know
Glue.
a lot of people actually
Yeah, this is
responded
Gorilla
quite
Glue
negatively
challenge.
to it, since by this point in the franchise, we're just kind of used to the theme song changing every time there's a new team. Me, I'm just happy we have a good song lasting a while rather than a bunch of mediocre ones. That being
This is
said,
mediocre,
being an anniversary
Linkara.
season, it was actually even more important that this one try to harken back to the old days, since Lord knows we barely get any other references in the first half of the show. However, we did not yet again require the characters to yell out their names. And this is also our first sign of the laziness of the season. Last season, the Yellow Ranger was Emily and the Pink Ranger was Mia. This season, the Yellow Ranger is Gia and the Pink Ranger is Emma. Congratulations on not being able to think of names that sounded different from the last season. That's not going to confuse the little kids at all. It may have just been an unintentional coincidence, since according to an interview with Sierra Hanna, who played Gia, the character name was inspired by Angelina Jolie. We set up some character stuff. Emma is into environmentalism and photography enthusiast. Gia is confident and Emma's best friend. Jake has a crush on Gia and is very much into soccer, and Noah is the token nerd. As Malcor talks to another of his generals, Brock, we cut over to a cave inside of an ocean bluff. Inside said cave is a CGI robot, dormant until a series of multicolored consoles turn on. And thus we're introduced to our mentor, a big tiki head on the wall named Gosei. Our robot buddy is Tensu, who's...
Oh no. Oh no!
Like I said, before he goes on his rant, I told them that the mentor was going to be a guy who is in the wall, a stone-faced guy named Gosei, and his little friend is going to be a little robot on wheels.
Jonathan, I want you to look at this.
Oh, like a tricycle. Is that a
That,
tricycle?
no.
Does that look like it's physically there?
No. Yeah, that's what he said. It's CG. That's the CG.
It looks photoshopped in there.
And that's what CG is.
But no, but not in a good way. It looks. This looks bad.
Yeah, this is low quality CG, yo.
It kind of looks like it. Maybe because I'm back.
It looks
here.
like somebody pasted it, and it looks like it's not even on the
you know
floor.
what? Yeah, I see it. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
And that's without light.
Oh.
Wait until you see it with light.
Oh God! Oh my God!
I saw it coming.
So instead of making a completely different
Or a guy in a costume.
and a character period, you try to give us a rip off of Johnny 5?
Basically.
Oh
boy.
Oh God!
It's kind of like a weird combination of Wally and Johnny 5. But the point is
What do you know? What do you know? What do you know? Johnny 5. What do you know?
I rest my case. I rest my goddamn case. I'm sorry. I rest my case.
Hey.
states that aliens have landed on Earth and thus they must assemble a team.
The most energetic and unstoppable group that exemplifies the enduring human spirit. Teenagers.
Now, admittedly, the description is over emotional, but if
Why the fuck are you trying to imitate Zordon? Just play. Just play. Just press play. Just press play.
Hold on, I need a minute.
Just press play.
He needs a minute too. He needs a
So
minute.
hold on.
I told you, it's a basically.
He literally sounds like Zordon.
Yeah, it's based. I told you. I told him in the very beginning of all this that the mentor was basically like a copy paste of Zordon, like a copy and paste. Just
So again, I say this. So instead of making a dope character that's by itself, on his own, with his own
network of strength.
Network of strength. You know, he's not trying to be anybody else. You give him a dialogue that is word by word of what Zordon would say.
Well, I don't know exactly if it was word by word. It might use a different big words.
Oh, but no, believe me. It's word by word because Zordon said almost the exact same thing. Teenagers.
Well,
Said almost the exact same thing.
All that was missing was the aye, not teenage.
Oh no, please. If they oh God. I was waiting for it. I was. I'm not gonna lie, I was waiting for it. Cause I already heard him say, "Wow, around zooming around the little pillars."
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's only gonna get
we
worse.
met teenagers, Gosei. Energetic is not how I would describe the demographic that's forced to get up at 6 in the morning after multiple hours of homework and the regular stresses of puberty. But then again, this is a television show, so there you go.
Get me 5 kids with talented attitude and get them now.
Back over over to said teenagers with attitude, we see that they're all converging at Ernie's brain freeze. Unfortunately,
You gotta be kidding me!
That's another thing. I don't know if I mentioned to you yet, but yeah, this is also the
but
second
hey, at
copy
least they
of the
got
first
Greg
season.
Bullock back to play
Alright.
Lieutenant Stone to keep with the continuity of everything.
One for each of us, and one for the very pretty girl in the corner.
God.
You look different, Lieutenant Stone. Did you get a haircut? Yeah, no, just another dude named Ernie. More on this later. In the meantime, our heroes are teleported to the command center, including Troy, who's just kind of hanging out on a rooftop practicing martial arts. Or it could just be that he hates water bottles, considering he tries to kick one right before the teleport. The group is, of course, confused by all of this, and lights spring up in the command center, revealing not only its rather minimalistic nature, but row upon row of small statues of previous Ranger teams lining the walls.
I've seen these before. In my dreams.
Take note of that whole dream thing. It's a very important plot point. Gosei introduces himself.
My mentor, Zordon, placed me here to be guardian of this
Yeah, he said it.
How many friggin' backup plans did Zordon have? Multiple Megazords, possible ties with government agencies, ancient friends, alien connections, and apparently at some point he found time to train somebody else in the art of being a giant head who told Power Ranger stuff. He also states that he embodies the great mystical powers of the Earth, whatever the hell that means. But what's more, he only awakens when the Earth is faced with an extraordinary threat. You know, like an invasion from space 14 years ago, or when demons tried to invade the Earth, or when the space-time continuum got flushed down the drain, or when pollution caused the revitalization of the orbs, or that other invasion of aliens led by an excommunicated ninja, or when other demons tried to invade the Earth through magic and mysticism, or yet another alien invasion from multiple alien factions seeking ultimate power through a jewel, or invasion of beast creatures involved in a beast war, or that other invasion of demons from a nether realm that wanted to merge our world with theirs. Or I guess not. I mean, why would any of those be considered extraordinary threats? Oh, and ironically, next season, more aliens. Why the hell does this keep happening?
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I was talking about in regards to Operation Overdrive. It's always aliens.
Yeah, because it's the simple way to
Aliens,
bad guy.
aliens, 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 aliens,
It's
aliens.
basically the simple way for them to
What
be
is
the bad-
with our obsession with aliens?
Because it's easy to make them the bad guy.
What about robots?
What about robots?
They did that and it failed. Remember?
Oh yeah.
RPM?
Oh yeah. Robot aliens.
Nigga, they did that too. And it's still aliens.
Cannibal human underdwellers.
Beast spirits, basically. And plus, underdwellers, netherworld,
You know what?
demons. Nigga, you don't smoke.
Killer vegetables, nigga. I don't fucking know. This is stupid.
Killer vegetables. Well, it's kind of similar to this because they're alien insects. The first villains they fight in the Megaforce face is alien insects.
I hate my life. I don't hate my life, but
Continue.
just.
In Power Rangers, does the other side of the moon have a big neon sign on it that says vacancies? By the by, while we never see him take on any other forms, Gosei says that he took this form so that he could look familiar to humankind, implying that he's either a shapeshifter or is actually very different from how he appears to us. Just another aspect of this show that goes completely unexplored and unexplained. He says he's chosen them carefully.
You're not only a great BMX cyclist, but you also truly care about the environment. You go to great lengths to take care of it.
Your Instagram account has done more to help the environment than even the EPA.
There's my favorite color.
Literally.
But what's this ranger deal?
Oh, for the love of... You can't openly acknowledge the long history of the show and have people act like they've never heard of the Power Rangers!
I am making you the Black Ranger, who will fight with the stealth of a snake.
Just ignore the green outline. That's not important until next season. Troy was chosen for being pure of spirit, and that he's met adversity in his life with great skill. Yes, truly, he has done much to fight against the oppression of water bottles on us all. Yeah, we never discover what this supposed adversity that he's faced is.
You shall be the Red Ranger, and like the dragon, you will serve as the team's leader.
Ah yes, dragons, known for being team leaders. Remember how Smaug was elected king of Erebor because of his leadership skills?
There must be a mistake here. I'm new in town.
Yes, clearly that was the problem with what Gosei said, Troy.
Lining the room, you can see the Rangers who came before you.
I know technically some of these Rangers are from the future or another dimension, but the little kids don't know that. Actually, in all honesty, I don't mind that. Thanks to team-ups with past Rangers and the fact that the morphing grid is capable of foretelling the future, it's not outside the realm of possibility that there would be future teams on here. Mind you, the fact that it only has teams that we've seen before is kind of tricky, but whatever. It's not really that relevant. What the hell these things are doing here is another matter. It makes me actually wonder if Gosei wasn't meant to be guardian of the Earth, but rather just this chamber. A protective vault connected to the morphing grid that had access to all known powers. Gosei would have been given the ability to create his own team if the need came up, but it makes a lot more sense than the vague and undetailed backstory we have for him otherwise about simply being mentored by Zordon and being of the Earth. Actually, if we go by RPM's definition of the morphing grid, a biofield linking all living beings together, his of the Earth explanation would make more sense in that context. Maybe he himself is connected to the morphing grid, or is a living embodiment of it. This is all speculation on my part, but that's because this series gives us nothing else to go on. The lack of any solid backstory for any of the elements of the series is one of the things that makes it so frustrating for people. Even Samurai had a solid backstory for all of its elements. Sure, it was mostly copied and pasted from Shinkenger, but there was something there. As I said before, they had more lead-in time than Samurai to figure this stuff out. Gosei gives them their morphers and explains how the morphers will use power cards to unlock weapons and abilities. Troy immediately says that if Earth is in danger, they're all in. Good job speaking for everybody, new kid.
Megaforce, your mission starts now.
There's your title. The five are teleported into the city to confront the foot soldiers, which are just now there, I guess. The foot soldiers are called Loogies. Appropriate, actually, considering how this show seems like it's spitting on the franchise. Joking aside,
Loogie.
So the common enemy troopers, the foot soldiers,
It's a ball of spit.
are balls of spit.
Yep, green balls of spit.
Loogies. Ew. That's all I can say.
Light my cigarette back up.
Ew. That's nasty.
It's not a real cigarette. Don't smoke, kids. It's gross.
Shit, I'm thinking about it.
At this point.
Confused why that name when we've got insect-themed villains. The Loogies are pretty unimpressive, frankly. Dudes in full bodysuits with some vaguely insect-like patterns on their bodies and faces. I'll give it this kind of opening battle for the first episode is standard by now, but they make it a bit more interesting by using the characters' displayed personality traits. Troy immediately opens with martial arts. Jake uses a soccer ball. Emma blinds some with her camera. Sure, it ends with them needing to morph, it's just the fight is a little bit more interesting than normal. And thus, it's time.
It's morphin' time! Go, go, Megaforce!
I freaking love the Megaforce morphers. I honestly do. It's why I used it in atop the fourth wall instead of the Ranger key one we get later. Mostly I like it because it's so damn unique. A big old tiki head that you shove children's trading cards into. Although they end up using the morphers as communicators, it's pretty damn far away from a cell phone. The morphing sequence is alright. It reminds me a lot of Wild Forces with the animals forming into the helmet. The outfits are okay. Design-wise, I like how all the symbols on their chests are meant to combine into a unified design that we see on their helmets. Go-Sager, which this season is based on, was themed around angels, so these outfits are a bit more ornate. Gold piping, white bottoms, it really does work for them. It would especially work for the anniversary stuff, giving us a sense of grandeur about this team in particular. But of course, there's nothing much in the series to justify that sense of grandeur. The theory that people had at the time, since it was uncertain how Gokaiger would be handled, was that instead of the key system used in that Sentai, they'd utilize the cards to transform into past Rangers. This was bolstered by the fact that the card game sold along with all the toys and in booster packs had past Ranger cards. Seems like that'd make sense too. You could adapt both series while keeping the focus on the Go-Sager suits. That is not what ends up happening, but that's the show for you. Anything that would actually sound completely logical and sound for them to do, they ignore it. it, as if there was some argument in the writer's room where the person who had all the good, rational ideas was really irritating to the other writers, so they decided to spite them by doing the opposite of whatever they suggested.
Oh look, cow explosions.
Oh yeah. You got good ideas? Oh, guess what? Who cares? We're doing this. We're just doing it this way.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, so you had a good idea for an actual toy line that might make us money? No, screw that. We're doing something else.
Like, fuck you.
Like, fuck you. We're doing something else.
That's literally what's going on.
Oh, you got a degree in entertainment and actually know what you're doing? Well, guess what? We don't. Well, guess what? We're the top dogs. We're doing it. We're doing it our way. All right.
That's pretty much.
That's how we're gonna be doing it. All right. And the children are gonna eat it up.
And they definitely did.
Which is why they
We gotta do better by our children, y'all. We can't just keep feeding them
bullshit.
We really can't. Just because you can do it doesn't mean it's a good thing to do.
I mean, I would do it.
Nigga, you make kids. That's a lot.
Exactly. That didn't sound right.
That's a mega win.
Like the Samurai, Megaforce is trying to establish its own mythos, and it does it much more poorly. Aside from the fact that they're already rehashing the theme song and Go Go Megaforce from Go Go Samurai, the next thing they're rehashing is a post-battle victory statement. Admittedly, it's not the same one as Samurai's Samurai Rangers, victory is ours, but it also sounds goofier. I appreciate the alliteration and repetition of the mega phrase, but when we get to the second season, they make it even dumber, but that's a discussion for later. So yeah, they defeat a monster and return to the command center, where Gosei congratulates them.
Do not doubt yourselves. You were chosen, and for good reason.
Good line, but Emma is uncertain.
I'm not so sure. The helmet does mess up my hair. I mean, the outfits are cool and everything, but my hair gets all tangled up inside the helmets.
More on that.
You are not Kimberly. No. You shut your damn mouth.
Didn't I tell you?
You are not
Calm down.
Kimberly.
Calm down. I told you in the very beginning before this ever you started.
No. Both her wanted to be Angelina Jolie having ass.
Nigga, I told you this is a copy and paste of Mighty Power Rangers. This is literally nothing more than a copy and paste.
Screw the copy paste. This is an abomination of what they just did. This ain't no damn copy. If it was a copy paste, it wouldn't have this many holes.
No, nigga, it's a watered down version copy paste.
You call this watered down?
Yes.
This is more like what's a deplorable liquid that you don't consume?
Oil.
This is an oiled down version of what that was. Castor oil.
You
Come take your castor oil, baby.
No, I don't want that. But it's good for you. It's good for you. No, it's not. This is not good for me at all.
What you want to say, guy?
Nope.
He done with it too. Let's keep going.
He walked away. I wanted to walk too. That made me mad.
All right, let's continue because we still got like 4 more of these.
And a second, but what gets me is that they don't repeat the really obvious thing from the end of the first episode of Mighty Morphin. Hand pile and then calling out Power Rangers, instead bringing their fists together and doing their Earth's Defenders Never Surrender catchphrase. But yeah, the repetition of Kimberly's line. Of course it's a callback to Day of the Dumpster. As I said, it's the much-hyped 20th anniversary. The problem is that it doesn't make any sense here. Kimberly was presented back then as a stereotypical Valley Girl type, so of course she'd bring up how the helmet messed up her hair. Emma is a regular traipser through the dirt and insect-infested woods. The hell does she care about messing up her hair? Mega Mission is very, very basic. We lay the groundwork for characters and plots that we hope we'll see more of. Oh, and get used to these outfits, everyone. You know, at least Mighty Morphin let them wear different clothes as long as they kept the color scheme. These kids apparently have no other outfits. But yeah, Mega Mission is all stuff we've seen before, which is kind of the point.
Also,
of course, most of this is meant to harken back to the first season. Teenagers, Big Head and his robot buddy, Ernie.
Flag on the play. Did you just say they wear the same outfits every episode?
Yeah.
Every episode?
Yeah. They might change clothes, but they go back to the same outfit.
That's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. You know, normally humans would change If you came here with the same form of clothes every day, we would have a talk.
Then I'll show you a picture. I'll show you a picture like them. I have a closet of the same outfit for every day.
I have nothing else.
Samurai was emulating Mighty Morphin in places to try to recapture the zeitgeist for a young audience unfamiliar with this stuff. But this one is deliberate callbacks for the anniversary. The problem is the superficiality, as demonstrated by Emma and the helmet line. It's supposed to harken back to all that stuff, but character and story-wise, it's all wrong. In the original, all 5 were already friends. Here, Troy is a new kid, and there's a crush that one has for another, and they feel much more disconnected from one another. The command center, lighting-wise, looks more like Lord Zed's palace than the classic command center. Tensu resembles Alpha only in that he's a robot, and Gosei only in that he's a big giant head. The Rangers don't reject the weird situation right away, or seem at all self-aware of any of this. The only thing that links this to the old days in an overt manner is Gosei mentioning that his mentor was Zordon. After the first episode, Zordon is never mentioned again. It almost feels like something they accidentally left in, like it was supposed to be removed, like that Zordon reference in Lost Galaxy that was cut. But hey, we could get over stuff like that as long as the rest of the show held up. After all, we've had very basic beginnings before, and not everything has to be a callback to the first season. But the rest of Megaforce ends up reflecting the same attitude. Half-hearted continuity references and not taking more time to develop the ideas they had. It's especially why, watching this almost 3 years later for me, it feels all the more hollow. There were a lot of things they could have done to strengthen this for the anniversary. First and foremost, Ernie, like Mr. Burley, is a superfluous character. Admittedly, the original Ernie was superfluous, but this is a different era. You've got a large audience of kids who are still getting used to the idea of new protagonists. I have heard many anecdotes of parents of very confused kids asking why the Samurai Rangers aren't around anymore if this is Power Rangers. So one way to connect both the young and old audiences? Have Ernie's be run by Bulk. Bring him full circle again, like with his little resort in Forever Red, or running a bar with Phenomenus in Lost Galaxy. Let him own part of the Ernie's franchise. Or hell, we again don't have a name for the city, and no driver's license to reveal it to us. Best we get is that it takes place in Harwood County, unless this town is called Harwood County, which just seems like really poor naming. So I say, just make this place Angel Grove again, and have it be the same Ernie's, just refurbished. Most of Angel Grove is stock footage anyway, nobody will notice how it looks different. That way, not only do you truly make this an anniversary by bringing us back to where it really all began, but I'd imagine with the Rangers being such a big part of the town's history, maybe some kind of Power Rangers museum or the like would exist there for our heroes to do research in instead of what happens later. Some random database that's cobbled together. Instead of Mr. Burley, get a Ranger alumni who could be a recurring character offering advice to the new ones and have them back for the finale. Hell, again, connect it to Samurai for the younger audience by having it be one of those Rangers teaching the next team. Starting with the second episode, we have our standard 30-second recap of the series premise.
Our world was once a safe and happy place.
Says the opening to the 20th year of bizarre, terrifying creatures wreaking massive, large-scale destruction and despair. We also have Troy running into Creepox, who wants to know why humans defy the insect invasion when they can be so easily defeated. Troy says humans are tougher than they appear. Clearly, this is setting up a long-running rivalry between the two that will, of course, be resolved in a mere 7 episodes, and the two having shared screen time all of 2 or 3 times before then. We also get this season's method of growing monsters. Brock has creatures called Zombats that he can unleash that will make their monsters grow. Because clearly an army of insects would use bats?
As royalty, I have access to much more advanced technology. They're robotic.
Oh, well now it makes perfect sense.
Far too complex for you to understand.
Actually, I think maybe that was what was going on in the writer's room. They had extensive novels written about all the backstory of all of this that they just couldn't fit into the show proper. So anytime something doesn't make any sense, it's just far too complex for us to understand. The Rangers summon their Zords via the cards, which reveals to us one of the only times we actually get to see the command center from a different angle. These Zords being stone heads that launch out and become their proper forms, after merging with vehicles briefly. Man, the people on that plane are going to be mighty confused. Later, those heads will be shrunk down and just be attached to the Rangers' blasters. Also, strangely enough, despite referring to them as just Zords first, they then call them Mecha-Zords, which is nice and confusing when the Megaforce Mechazords become the Megaforce Megazord through the mechanization from Stone that these Mechazords had only been a moment before being summoned by the Megaforce to become their Mechazords and eventually Megazord.
Well,
See that
they
5
run on
times fast.
biofuel.
No, Emma.
No.
They run on us. Our courage, our strength. That's what gives them power.
I know that because shut up! Anyway, they battle individually for a bit and then form together to become the Gosei Great Megazord. It's a pretty decent looking Megazord. At the very least, we don't have gigantic helmets on it. One thing that I recall a lot of people complaining about in sequences like this is that you can clearly see Tensu Sentai Goseiger written on their Megazord card, and in several other cases, the original Japanese names of the cards are also visible. But honestly, I really don't mind that stuff. It's on screen for only a second or two, and it'd probably be expensive to try to edit it on so many episodes. It's really not that big a deal.
It's a card!
I'd rather they invest time
It's
and
not
effort
that
into
hard.
stuff like the writing and acting than to change minor details that none of the kids are gonna notice. Or if they do notice, it'll just get them thinking about it and maybe learning more. Speaking of learning, episode 3 introduces the first in one of the most frustrating trends of Megaforce. Gosei handing out new powers and weapons for seemingly no reason. Episode 3's is actually one of the less egregious examples of this, since it's a Noah-focused episode about believing in himself, wherein, through self-confidence, he is able to help repel a monster and is awarded for this with new Zord heads. The first problem I have with this is that it's only the 3rd episode. Can we at least have a few episodes of the regular Zords before we start getting
That was the 3rd
upgrades? But
episode,
the
and
larger
they're already
problem, as I
getting
said,
new
is when they're given powers for doing
New
nothing.
Zords? Yeah.
Sometimes they get Zords if they've earned them, but then there's episode 4, a kind of Troy-focused episode, more about a one-off character. New Zords are given to Jake and Gia to increase the Megazord's speed, despite them doing nothing to earn them. In episode 7, Gosei gives them an upgrade just because Troy asks for one during a slightly tougher fight.
What?
Episode 10, a reward for working together, aka all the Zords fire at the same time. Part of the problem here is that instead of studying the Sentai extensively, cutting out entirely superfluous elements and powers that weren't going to matter anyway, maybe doing more original footage and character development outside of the suits, the creators apparently felt the need to burn up as much Sentai footage as they could, since they only had 20 episodes to work with it. Some of this I understand. If they use certain Zord combinations in episodes to defeat monsters, you need to introduce them first. But here's an idea. Have an episode focusing on multiple characters and use some good editing so that new abilities from 2 different episodes are given at the same time. Or have a string of focus episodes that give them the new weapons. And maybe some of this isn't resolved right away. Maybe later on, when they get the Zords from Gokaiger, you can mix and match. Do like they did with the Thunder Zords in Season 2 of Mighty Morphin, wherein the old Zords become the new Zords. You can explain that the villains are developing technologies to block the Zords from transforming in some episodes, so you can have that mixing and matching gradually transition into just the Gokaiger Zords or something. But no, just hand them all in every single episode. More Zords, more Zords. So many Zords.
Part 2. So how do y'all two feel?
You motherfucker! This is fucking. This is so.
right now.
This is fucking bad. Why do you watch this?
The details.
Why would you watch this?
Why would you watch this? Why do you love pain? Why do you love it? Why?
What the fuck says I love it? I told you I'm dumbasses.
This is only part 1.
We'll be back, alright? We gonna kill this nigga real quick. Turn the video on.
Yeah, alright.